What's up, agents, and welcome back to another Division video. Exciting times today because now you can download the Year 6 Season 1 PTS in preparation to play it tomorrow, and of course with it being the day before, they have given us the patch notes. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe, and let's get straight into it. So the size without the PTS build on Ubi Connect is 92 gig. The game's getting pretty big now, and it starts on Friday the 26th of April in one of these time zones depending on where you are, but it goes away on Monday, which I think usually goes away on Sunday. Maybe I'm just wrong with that, it's been a while, but this PTS has come along way earlier than I thought, and I guess this is in preparation. I would expect this, even though it's Year 6 Season 1, this is probably going to be a fairly small patch in my imagination anyway. I know we've got some kind of replacement Division Day stuff coming in and things like that, but I think this is probably going to be a fairly small patch. The patch notes kind of allude to that as well, and all kind of business as usual, because I think we're just going to get, you know, Manhunt, a new Manhunt obviously, you know, GEs and things like that. But then the next PTS after this would be the season revamp, and I think that one could be potentially huge. So I think this one's early in preparation for that one being absolutely huge. So that's just my thoughts. I don't know anything, I'm just guessing, but let me know what you think in the comments down below. So let's start off with the new gear. Now this has clearly been put in because it knows I am terrible at pronouncing things, but it's the Zyadoka. I don't know if I've said that right or not, but we'll have some, you know, you can have a laugh at me for the next few videos until I finally get it right. And it's this, this is a brand set. One piece gives you 15% mag size. I'm very surprised at that. Mag size is always pretty deep into other gear and brands that we've got, so giving you 15%, pretty huge. Two piece gives you 20% rifle damage. Yes, you heard that right. Rifles are getting some love. I know a lot of people have been shouting for that for a while. And then three piece gives you 30% weapon handling. And I will say why I think this is getting weapon handling a little bit later on down these patch notes. We're going to get a named chest, the Bobber, with the talent Perfect Entrench. If you were below 30% armor, headshots from cover repair 30% of your armor, cooldown 2 seconds, no surprise there. Then we're getting some new named gloves as well, called the Eagle's Grasp, that come as part of this this brand set, which give you 15% weapon handling. And again, that plays into a bigger theory that I have about this patch and potential meta changes that they are trying to make. We've then got the Breaking Point gear set. So two pieces of this give you 20% rifle damage, huge again, and 25% MMR damage. Three pieces gives you 30% headshot damage and 15% weapon handling. You heard that there yet again. Four pieces unequipped unlock a brand new unique talent called On Point. Landing a shot with a rifle or a marksman rifle grants a stack. Reloading grants 2% weapon handling, it's there again, and 2% weapon damage per stack for 10 seconds. Potentially that could be pretty huge. No stacks are required while the bonuses are active because they don't want you to just keep stacking it over and over again. And the timer running out will refill your magazine, which again, certainly very, very interesting. Switching weapons while the bonuses are active will stop the effect and refill your magazine. Switching weapons while the bonuses are not active will remove all your stacks and refill your magazine. Now, this actually sounds pretty good, right? I think it's not a huge amount of damage right from the rip, but you getting that constant magazine refill could actually add to burst and sustain damage in a way we've never had before. So I am definitely interested to try this out. I think it could actually be pretty good. There is a chest and backpack talent though that actually makes them better. So the chest one increases the on point bonuses from 10 seconds to 15 seconds. I probably will never use that. But the backpack talent increases the damage bonus from 2 to 3%. And I think that's huge. I think that's pretty good. It's going to be kind of like having to run Striker's backpack if you're running Strikers. That's what I think at the moment. I've done no maths around this yet because we've not actually seen the gear. It's not always quite as straightforward as the patch notes says, but I think that could actually be pretty huge. Just before we move on though, I am going to say one thing about this. At first, it kind of gives you the impression that this is all based around giving the rifles a bit of a new lease of life. They were left kind of dead in TU20. M1A is still very, very good. It's always been very, very good. And I think the potential for that to be better now is kind of bringing the M1A back to the forefront. And that's kind of your go-to thoughts for this when you see this. But what I do see kind of the overarching thing with this is that we all know that lots of marksman rifles are pretty terrible. SVDs are very bouncy and things like that. Merciless, very bouncy, and they just don't get used because of how wild they are. There is a lot of weapon handling thrown into this brand set and thrown into this gear set across the two, and mixing them gives you kind of the ability to have a lot of it, especially if you're going to run Ninja Bike backpack and things like that. And I kind of think the overarching idea with this is to make them guns more relevant rather than alter how they work and feel. And that's a little bit unfair off the first thoughts, considering that other guns got reworks. But there's obviously a danger involved when it comes to these guns because they're such high-powered one-shots. So whether this will work or not, I am still very open to the idea. But I do think it's not just about rifles. I do think the overarching idea as well is to make marksman rifles better as well. And we have some really good ones right now. M700's really good. SR1's really good. There's quite a few good ones. Before it was kind of staple with the Nemesis. Obviously, it's just the Nemesis. It plays a bit weird. But the M700 was really smart as well. So, I don't know. My overall idea is I think they're trying to not do any alterations to guns, but make them more useful in different kinds of ways. And I'm obviously very interested to see the magazines being refilled with the breaking point gear set. But we'll see. Acosta's knee pads. This is wild to me. They kind of removed movement speed bonuses a while back, but now they're back. Vaulting on top of an object gives you 10% movement speed for 3 seconds. After not moving for 5 seconds, receive 20% movement speed for 5 seconds. While affected by a status effect, you get 10% movement speed. Max movement speed bonus is 20%, and the bonuses do not stack with other bonus, movement speed bonuses in the game. But the kicker of this one is, which makes me think these are being built exactly for PvP, is you get minus 50% movement impairment. Impairment, I get that right. Impairment, am I saying that right? I'm English and I can't say these words. Penalty from status effects, making that you're not gonna be able to just form somebody in PvP and mow them down, because they can probably make themselves immune from that very easily if they put these on. Minus 50% right off the rip, plus other bonuses that you can put on to make yourself immune, lets you build that very, very easily. And I'm guessing that's the idea with these, to try and get away from the whole, trolling in PvP a little bit. But I guess we'll have to wait and see if that does actually affect how PvP plays. New exotic weapons. We've got the Overlord exotic shotgun. It's got hitting an enemy will apply a stack of minus 1.5% movement speed for each pellet that is hit. So I'm guessing it's, obviously it's a shotgun, or it does say exotic shotgun. Hit for 5 seconds. Shooting again will reapply the stacks. Yeah, I mean, this could be interesting. Not too sure how good it's going to be. We'll have to try it out. But it's got 15% crit damage, 15% reload, and 20% weapon stability. Pretty good mods across the board. The weapon stability is going to come in, making the spread less and things like that. So we'll see if it's actually any good. Named weapons and talents. We've got the Brazen Weapon talent. Receive 1% amp damage on the next shot with the weapon for each pellet that hits the target. If at least 6 pellets are hit. Again, this is probably going to be shotgun based only. So that's interesting to see. And then obviously we've got the Thorn here with the perfect version where you only have to hit 4 pellets as well. So they're going in with shotguns as well with this patch. The Like Glue Super 90. I do like myself the Super 90. Gets the perfect talent as well. Definitely be interested to see how that plays out in PvE. If, running a Super 90 can become, super good in heroic missions. I guess we'll see. The Diamondback is getting a rework, and unsurprisingly so, considering that we are getting some rifle sets, as we previously talked about. They're increasing the damage, They're putting an extra bullet in the mag, just one extra bullet, and they're changing agonizing bite, and this makes absolute sense to me, this change. The Diamondback randomly marks an enemy within 20 meters. If no enemies are within 20 meters, it marks the closest enemy to you. Brilliant, really good start. Hitting the enemy that consumes the mark, guarantee a critical hit and amplifying damage of the hit by 20%. On top of them lovely other rifle bonuses you're going to be able to get. After hitting the mark, all shots fired are guaranteed critical hits for the next 5 seconds. A new random enemy is marked afterwards, and whenever you reload. So you got to make sure you kill them before you reload, otherwise that's going to get super annoying. But yeah, nice little tweak to the talent. Hopefully it works out for the Diamondback. You know, if 6 shots is enough, maybe 8 would have been a bit more generous, but maybe I'm just being too generous considering it's getting a damage increase as well. And then there's a whole bunch of known issues. You know, we're not going to go through them, but just pay a bit of attention to some of these known issues. Because they are things that hopefully will be fixed by the time this comes out. But if you're in the PTS, for instance, the Acosta's knee pads exotics require the Ninja Bike knee pads to be able to be reconfigured. So weird and wonderful things like that. But yeah, just have a quick read through them. It's all literally affecting all of the new stuff. So apart from going down here, the PTS cache visual UI feedback requires extended time to distribute all the items. Oh man, that's the huge thing on the screen. It takes long enough as it is. But there's a workaround. Hold the escape key to stop the animation prematurely, because, you know, like me, it's premature, while we're still receiving all the items. There is a workaround for that. Nice to know. Thank you so much. Massive. Appreciate the workaround. So yeah, pretty good. There's yeah, I guess we'll try it out and see. I think, you know, this patch that we've just had, the gear seemed very uninteresting when we read the patch notes. This seems pretty interesting. It really does. I think it could make for some big pew builds. I'm really hoping so, and if they do, I'll be sure to get them posted on my YouTube. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, though. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hope you're having a great day, agents, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.